So Saturday night's main event has officially come to an end. We got some massive returns and some massive additions to the Seth Rollins group. I will say one thing about Saturday night's main event. It is 2 hours and we only had 5 matches on this card. But one thing that really kind of takes away from this entire event is the commercial breaks. And I know that's not really anything that WWE specifically can do about that. But really, when there's 2-3 commercial breaks within the last match of the main event, and the main event only goes like 5-6 minutes, that's an issue that kind of took me out of the whole feel of this event. But regardless, I thought it was a decent event, a decent enough time to, a decent enough 2-hour time period. So we started off the show with Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker against Sami Zayn and CM Punk. CM Punk, which by the way was massively over here in Saturday night's main event in Tampa, Florida. He was massively over here. I think he was the biggest sort of star here. Definitely the biggest reception for this entire match was CM Punk. But at the end of the match, we got the return of Big Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed returns and takes out CM Punk, helps Braun Breaker get the win over Sami Zayn. And it's revealed that Big Bronson Reed is the third man for the whole Seth Rollins faction, right? So now it's Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins. Now, I was really surprised when I saw Bronson Reed. I did not expect Bronson Reed back, at least within, maybe mid-June, so to speak, maybe late June. I thought he was going to be out for a little bit longer. I'm definitely excited to see where this goes. Obviously, there's a lot of history between Seth and Bronson, and there's, some history as well with Punk and Bronson, because Punk was the guy who kind of essentially, caused Bronson to get injured at War Games, right? So they can kind of run that as well. It kind of does add the question, if there was a third man all this time, is there potentially a fourth man? Who knows at this point? But I think Bronson Reed, if you just take a look at the whole dynamic, right? If you take a look at the 3 guys that you have together, right? Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker on Monday Night Raw. Like, how does that not scream like fucking just aura at that point, right? We also had a really just, mid-match between Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega. The ending sort of sequence was really awkward. I think Zelina was trying to go for the 619 but didn't get all of it, but then she caught Chelsea square in the nose and Chelsea got busted open, and that was essentially it. That was the match. 5-minute match. Really, who cares about the women's US title match, the women's US division, because literally that's non-existent at this point in time. We also got in the middle of the show John Cena against R-Truth. This was non-title match. This really surprised me because I didn't think that this was going to be almost just, kind of thrown in the middle of the show. I thought it was either going to open the show or maybe main event. I don't know what I was thinking here, but we did get this match, and what did kind of gave me a little chuckle was the whole fact of R-Truth coming out here with his whole John Cena gear, doing the whole John Cena moves, the 5-knuckle shuffle, the STF, the attitude adjustment. I did get a kick out of this. Now, what I will say though was, did you really need to have this at Saturday night's main event? Because you could have done all of this literally on SmackDown. You could have done all of this on SmackDown, and I feel like it would have been, it would have been better than doing it on Saturday night's main event, promoting 2 weeks of television for something that really only went 6 minutes. They did sort of tease the whole, will John Cena turn back into a good guy? Because John Cena, he grabbed the championship belt, teased that he was going to hit R-Truth, but then, gave the championship right back to the referee, but then low blowed R-Truth and got the win, and then clobbered R-Truth post-match with the championship. So, I mean, was this really worth it? That's up to you to discuss and come to your own conclusions. I definitely, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I kind of would have wished that this would have happened maybe on SmackDown instead. But this was not the last that we would see of John Cena, because later on there's a segment between John Cena and Jey Uso, both men with their World Heavyweight Championships, where essentially John Cena says that, wouldn't it be something if I retired with this championship and you lose your championship to a YouTuber. He said, you come from a big family, from a historic family. Wouldn't that be a way to ruin wrestling? And immediately my head started working. I said, maybe they're going to do a match here between both of these guys, or maybe they do that rumored match, which was Cena, Logan Paul, and Travis Scott against Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, and Jimmy Uso. I guess I might as well touch on that now, because we did get this match. The World Heavyweight Championship match ending off the show, Logan Paul against Jey Uso. And like I said before, this match started at 6:50, which that meant there was only 10 minutes left in the show. It started at 50, so that literally meant that there was only 10 minutes of this match, and probably even less than that when you consider commercial breaks and everything. So I was extremely sort of hesitant as far as what they were going to do with this match. And then John Cena got involved and tried to, I guess, hand the championship to Logan. Then Cody Rhodes comes out here, a returning Cody Rhodes. He came out here, he crossed Rhodes, he took out John Cena. Logan Paul tried to get involved once again, but then Jey Uso got the win over Logan Paul. Cody Rhodes then challenges John Cena and Logan Paul to a tag team match at Money in the Bank. So now, as it stands currently, it's Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso against Logan Paul and John Cena at Money in the Bank. Part of me literally hopes to God that they don't end up adding Travis Scott to this match, because what a way to ruin something by just adding Travis Scott into. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they remain this sort of tag team match going forward. And lastly, let's talk about the steel cage match between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. During this match, they had Jesse Ventura on commentary, and really what this boiled down to was the ending sequence where Damian Priest gives a concerto to Drew McIntyre. Then Damian Priest walks out of the steel cage door and simply just walks out and wins the match that way. And all you can hear is Jesse Ventura on commentary just losing his mind over this shit. He's like, hey, how is this a win? He said, this is literally a coward right here. He's walking out. And to a degree, I kind of agree as well with him, because these two guys, they're meant to hate each other, but at the same time, Priest literally just walks out of the cage. He could have pinned him. He could have hit him with another concerto. Whatever the case may be, I did kind of agree somewhat that this was a weak finish to end off the feud. But let me know what you guys thought of Saturday night's main event from Tampa, Florida. What did you think of the whole Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed ordeal? What did you think of John Cena and Cody Rhodes once again? Let me know what you guys think down below. And until next time, I will see all of you on the next one.